Well, the twists just keep coming. Two more people are linked to the mysterious web of dead or missing American scientists and researchers, bringing the total number to 13. The FBI is now reviewing the death of NASA nuclear engineer Joshua LeBlanc, who was killed in a fiery car crash last July after he went missing without his phone and wallet. Also under review and newer scrutiny tonight is the death of David Wilcock, a paranormal and UFO researcher and writer whose death was ruled a suicide. We're also learning that several scientists from China have also turned up dead, too. Joining me now is NewsNation national security contributor Tracy Walder. Great to see you, Tracy. So let's start with the 13 American cases. Joshua LeBlanc didn't have a phone and a wallet. Very strange, like some of the others who have gone missing. On top of that fact, all 13 worked in related fields. To a lot of people watching, these may be obvious connections, government work, maybe secret clearances, but no agency that any of them worked for has definitively said that they are connected. So from an investigative perspective, what are we missing here?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Katie. I think the key in this case is what they didn't leave their home with, right? You mentioned before that really all of them, particularly the ones that are still, I guess, considered to be missing, all left home without their essential personal effects. So things like keys, wallets, that kind of thing. And so I think that's key. It is true, most of the agencies have said that none of them were working on that exact same project, but I think they don't have a choice in this investigation to go to all of these agencies and figure out exactly what it was that each of them are doing. And unfortunately, that's going to take some time, which isn't great when you have some people who are still missing.
So on that point, the people on the list there's a range of what they did and where they worked. A retired Air Force general, NASA lab director. Is it normal for the government not to know what's happening with such high-profile people, or there are enough people working inside these agencies with these types of jobs and security clearances that maybe they wouldn't think twice about something happening to them just in the realm of life after they either left their job or maybe just went out for a walk?
I think it's the latter, not the former. So listen, in these agencies and even at the CIA when I worked there, we don't necessarily know always what the other person is doing simply because the clearances we have are all compartmentalized, right? And so I think that's part of the problem too, is that they don't all know what they were doing. And the government, quite frankly, doesn't know. The FBI doesn't even have clearance to what some of these individuals are doing. They're going to have to be read into that. And I think that's going to be problematic.
So China, of course, is no stranger to having their scientists go missing or disappear or end up dead. The Wuhan lab researcher who was labeled patient zero after the COVID-19 outbreak disappeared, was never found, typical of Chinese Communist Party behavior. But is it possible, we've heard this from a number of congressmen, that there could be a national security implication here, that this could be some kind of tit for tat between the U.S. and China, or is that taking it a step too far?
So I'm just going to give my opinion. I feel that it's a step too far. Listen, I completely agree with you that this is an MO that we have absolutely seen of the CCP. They have definitely engaged in that in some of their scientists, as well as some of their dissidents as well. There's no question. But the issue is I just look at the tradecraft that I know China works when I worked Chinese counterintelligence and when I worked nuclear weapons. I think the issue is that's not typically how our espionage tradecraft works. We want people alive, and we want people to have access to current information. If you look at McCaslin, you know, he's been retired for quite some time.
Right. That's true. Tracy Walder, thanks for joining us. Great to see you.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.